Friday, folks. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Listen, I cannot wait to tell you about my morning. It's a morning to be remembered, I promise you. Listen, if you have pulmonary fibrosis, like me, if you're someone on the carnivore diet, like me, if you're a fan and subscriber of Dr. Shawn Baker, like me, or maybe you were just browsing social media, went down a rabbit hole, and ended up on this video, you're in the right place. Stick around. This is the room I would walk up and down.
Oh, really? We're leaving the hospital. Zippity doo dah. Are you leaving the hospital?
I'm leaving the hospital.
All right. Say bye, Methodist.
Bye, Methodist. All right, folks, listen, I had an amazing morning. I can't wait to share it with you. So let's just get this story going. Earlier this week, I was contacted by email and invited to be a guest on Dr. Shawn Baker's podcast. Dr. Shawn Baker, come on, king of the carnivores, King Carnivore. We're talking about the influencer of influencers. Let me explain. Who is the greatest of all time podcaster? Paul Harvey, right? Currently, who is the greatest of all time podcasters? Yes, Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan. Well, Dr. Shawn Baker has been a guest on his podcast. He is the man responsible for influencing Joe Rogan to jump on this carnivore diet kind of bandwagon. So for those who don't know, Dr. Shawn Baker has a podcast where he speaks to other social media influencers that specialize in diets of all kinds. He speaks to sports professionals, Ronda Rousey for one, Travis Brown, MMA fighters. Let's see, who else? I mean, who hasn't he spoken to? And also just people who have benefited greatly from the carnivore diet, who have suffered from all kinds of ailments, all kinds of illnesses, diseases, you name it. They've all been positively affected by the carnivore diet, and he brings them out and interviews them. And it's a great podcast. It's very inspirational. It's also very educational as well. And this morning, I got to be part of that. How amazing. I'm serious. I have been on cloud nine. It's just been... Okay, so let me tell you again how this all kind of started. All right? It's going to be entertaining. I promise you. I got an invitation earlier this week, and I tried to read it for the first 10 minutes. I couldn't stop jumping around. You know, I was just super excited. Finally, I read it. I go through the instructions. It tells, it gives you information on how you need to be in front of your camera and have all this special lighting, or maybe not special lighting, but you've got to be viewable. People got to see you for this podcast. So, I'm taking notes. Even though the notes are already there, I'm still taking notes. I'm thinking to myself, man, I got to go get a haircut. Yes, I got to get prepared for this. I got my I'm not kidding. I got my ears waxed. I got my nose waxed. I got my eyebrows waxed. I got this nice Johnny Bravo haircut. Yeah. And it was so exciting. I'm thinking to myself, yes, my 15 minutes of fame is here. I've got to be impressive. So I'm sitting, every day I'm sitting here at my desk, and I'm going through the interview with a play pretend interview, okay? So I'm doing this play pretend interview with Dr. Baker, and in my interview, we're laughing, we're crying, we're sharing special moments. He's laughing at all of my jokes. I'm killing it. This is his best interview. Again, that's my play pretend interview. I'm nervous. I've got to admit, I'm a bit starstruck. So mentally, I try to prepare myself. I've got notes. I made my wife take down all kinds of notes and go through the history of my health. Sweetheart, what are all the medications I take? I don't even know what they were. So she writes them all down for me because she took care of all that. Thank you, Jesus, that I have such an amazing wife to manage all that for me, because I'm horrible at it. So she gave me all these notes, said, here's what you were taking. Here's what they do. Here are what the side effects are, things you can talk about, things you can discuss. I get out this little outline, I put out this little outline. I'm watching several of his videos, the ones where he's talking with Joe Rogan. I look at the one where he's talking with Travis Brown and Ronda Rousey. I see some where he's talking with other doctors and how comfortable they all look and how eloquent some of them speak. And I'm excited. I'm thinking this, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm going to be ready. Got my notes. And his first question normally is, can you give us a little background about your health? I got this Word document. I got it all prepared. I've got notes down here. I've got my cup of water. I'm ready. So it's time. I'm sitting here behind the microphone. I'm going through all of the instructions in my head. Keep your camera eye level. Look into the camera. Don't look this way. And, come on. Professional interview. So I'm sitting here. Yeah. I'm sitting here. I'm getting ready. I'm looking straight into the camera, just like I'm looking at right now. I know you think I'm looking right at you. I can't see you. I'm looking at this camera up here. So I'm looking at the camera, and I get into the conference room, and I'm waiting for him. I'm like a giddy little schoolboy. I'm all excited. Dr. Shawn Baker. Dr. Shawn Baker. Oh my gosh. This is really happening. So, boom. There he is. Oh my gosh, he's on my screen. And he's starting to talk to me. I'm looking at him and I'm saying, this guy's a beast. Look at his arms. So I'm I gotta get myself together. I'm trying to pump myself up a little. Trying to pump myself up a little. Got to lower my voice. Dr. Shawn Baker's right up. He's about to ask me some questions. So he says my name. He says, "So Rob, can you tell us a little bit about your health history and a little bit of your background?" I froze. I choked. I couldn't even say I like turtles. I couldn't do it. Every thought every preparation, everything I knew I wanted to say was just gone. I got so stuck into the technical details. Look into the camera. I hope I got my light bright enough. Should I have turned it up? I think it's facing the wrong way. You know, I'm thinking, are my notes still showing? I'm looking right into the camera because I want to make sure that he thinks I'm looking right at him, just like you think I'm looking right at you. And you know what? I cannot even tell you, because he, in his other podcasts that I've watched, he's always got these really awesome looking T-shirts, you know, that say something like this one here says Meatitarian. All right, so he's got these really cool T-shirts. I don't even know what color his T-shirt is. Because I got so focused on the details and the technical part of it, I looked into the camera, which is right about here, and he's here on the screen. I didn't even get to have a conversation with him. That's just, oh, I was so embarrassed. I don't know what will happen with that interview. I don't even remember the questions that he asked except for that first one. And the only reason I remember the first one was because it's how he always usually starts his podcasts. I don't know what he was wearing. I didn't see his T-shirt other than that opening where I was looking at his arms and then trying to get my own pump in, flexing my arms and lower my voice. It was embarrassing. So I don't know how that interview, I know how it went. It went very bad on my part because I just kind of froze and I didn't know what to say. I know that I repeated myself over and over and over again. And guys, you know me. If you have seen my previous videos, you know that I'm animated. You know that I'm passionate. I love the Carnivore Diet. It is a godsend to me. Man, I praise the Lord for this eye-opening experience, this opportunity to take this lifestyle, incorporate it into my lung disease-ridden body, and feel and see and experience such a positive transformation. It's amazing. And if you have been in this position before where you have to have oxygen at your side with a portable concentrator, or maybe you've got one in your house that is slightly mobile because it's a huge device that's on wheels, and you have this 50-foot cannula attached to it like I have. I've got one of those. I've got two of those. If you've been in that position and you've had to stay attached to an oxygen device, you appreciate every single day that you feel good. Because with pulmonary fibrosis and struggling to get oxygen into your body, into your brain, into your organs, into your lungs, a lot of days really just suck. They do. You feel so tired. You feel so worn out. You feel helpless. You feel like you've got no strength, and all you want to do is just sit down, lay down, go to sleep, and hope that the next day is better. So yes, I am passionate and I am animated about the carnivore diet because it has been a godsend to my body, not just my body, but emotional health, mental health as well. And it's just been so positive, and I'm thankful for it. So I know that in that interview, I'm sure I sounded like a bit of a lunatic, and I regret that I didn't look and feel like I had that conversation with Dr. Baker. I hope that in the future he will call me back to say, hey, how are you doing? Can we get you back on the show to see how you're doing after a 6-month follow-up? I want to be able to give information to everyone about how my spirometry test went, to talk about my blood and oxygen levels, everything that was measured at the hospital. So I hope that I get that opportunity, because it really felt very disconnected. It felt very disingenuous from my side. Not Dr. Baker. He was excellent. He was super kind. He listened to my answers. They had great questions. I struggled because I froze. I was nervous. I was a little starstruck, and I was focused too much on the technical aspect, but I still had a great time. It was still an experience that I will cherish. So anyway, that's how my interview went. But I'm not going to be too hard on myself, because listen, it was fun. It was a great experience. I wanted to answer a lot of those questions differently. One of them that he did ask me that I remember, he said that, the carnivore diet is not all sunshine and rainbows. So can you tell me a little bit about the struggles or the hardships that you've had with the carnivore diet? I had the answer in my head. I know what I wanted to say, because I say this all the time. The carnivore diet is so simple, but it is not easy. It's simple to follow, it's simple to do, but it's not easy to commit to, because for a lot of us who may be a little bit on the heavier side, overweight, we're accustomed to our sugars. We indulge, we enjoy food. Carbohydrates, come on, you gotta have them. They're so good. It's hard to give them up. And that's been probably the biggest struggle for me. I have had to do, and I say I mean me and my wife, mostly my wife, have been searching for other recipes online to kind of get that sweet tooth, to fulfill that craving. And I've been able to enjoy Jell-O that tastes better than store-bought Jell-O, and it's all carnivore. Our absolute favorite dessert is a creme brulee that my wife makes that is pure carnivore. I'm telling you, I've got to put these links out there. I know I do. I'm sorry. There are ways to indulge and to meet those sweet cravings on this diet, but it does take work. It takes research. It takes time, not just time learning and researching, but time to go out and find all of the ingredients. They're probably not all going to be in one store. In fact, even at some of the nature and whole food stores, we haven't been able to find all of those ingredients. We've had to order some of them. So, yes, it's a simple diet. It is not an easy diet. Simple meaning you can just do beef, bacon, butter, and eggs, and water. That would have been one of my answers. I don't remember the other questions. I was so lost in the experience. But it was great. I really enjoyed it, and it is something that I will remember. And, well, that's enough for today. All right, listen, God bless you. I love all you guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I have questions because I'm still learning this whole thing. And by the way, this is week 16 for me. This Sunday will be week 16 that I have been on the carnivore diet. Last week, I think I said I'm probably on week 20, and that's because I didn't pay attention. This week, I went through my notes. I went back into history and looked at everything I had said before, and and figured out, okay, this is really when I started, and these are the experiences I've had so far. So week 16 is this Sunday, and Monday I will give you my week 16 update. God bless you. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.